guys, this is Brenton with Metaphysical Love Conscience, and you have to excuse my appearance. I'm just recovering from a nice bout with strep throat. Praise modern medicine. But today we're going to talk about one of my favorite signs, which is Gemini. This was actually a popular request. And it just so happens that we're in the month of Gemini as well, so it seems like a good time to do this video. Let's get the rough stuff out of the way first. Geminis, in my experience, have a bad reputation. Not to everybody, but there are a lot of people out there who have horror stories of the time they dated a Gemini, or my mother was a Gemini, or whatever. And the words that I hear a lot are crazy, moody, and multiple personalities. That being said, I mean, these are known traits of Geminis, and it's really just due to their mutable air sign nature. The Gemini mind is so rapid fire, with air being intellectual, knowledge, intelligence. Geminis are wicked smart, especially if their Mercury is in Gemini, as Mercury is a major part of intelligence. Some people have an issue with Geminis because they're able to use their intelligence to be manipulative or sneaky, kind of. Like, I picture a Gemini being like a professional jewel thief or something like that. In truth, with dealing with Geminis, and as an Aquarius Sun, Gemini Moon, it may be easier for me to understand where they're coming from. Geminis aren't two-faced. Like, a lot of people say they're two-faced, or they'll pretend to be one way when really, like, nah, that's a bunch of bullshit. Geminis really do have two distinct sides to them. You'll have the good Gemini. There's usually people who use the good twin, bad twin. You'll have the good Gemini, who is the life of the party, outspoken, charming, delightful, very intelligent, making everybody laugh. But then at a slight switch, you get bad Gemini, which is often temperamental. They're very, very witty, and that's one of the things that pisses people off the most, is that, like, if a Gemini wants to hurt your feelings, they can and will do so. So this isn't for all Geminis. I've met plenty who are not like that at all, but there are some who are just so full of communication and so capable of communication that when they want to hurt your feelings, they know how to do it, and they don't really feel bad about it being an air sign. So yeah, anyways, the key word with Gemini is communication. This is best exemplified if you look at the music industry. I'm going to specify because it's most impressive here. The hip-hop and rap industry, a huge amount of them are Geminis. And not only that, but it's like the late great legends, like the Jerry Garcias and Jimi Hendrixes of hip-hop, are almost entirely Geminis. Tupac Shakur was a Gemini. Notorious B.I.G., Big L, whom some of you may not have heard of, but he was an absolute legend. Lisa Left Eye Lopez, the rapper for TLC, all passed away very early and are all considered legends in the hip-hop community. And that pattern is still around today. You still see a lot of Gemini rappers. Kendrick Lamar, Kanye West, Azealia Banks. You've got Iggy Azalea, Macklemore, Andre 3000, Jadakiss, Ice Cube. The list seriously keeps going on. You'll also find Geminis are very frequently poets, singers, writers, journalists, any other art field that involves communication. This is because Geminis are so intelligent and have so much information and ideas and thoughts flowing through them, and with that Mercury rulership, they are so good at communicating it in unique and inventive ways. They tend to lack focus, and if a Gemini can manage to get focused on one thing and one goal, they have massive capacity for success. Um, Many brilliant, some of the best scientists ever, hands down, were Geminis. I don't know, I'll list them at the end for you because I don't know scientists by heart, sorry. But we have an individual whose brain never stops working. This does lead many Geminis to suffer. I think most Geminis I've spoken to suffer with insomnia to some degree, and anxiety. Anxiety being the major killer of Geminis. Meditation is key for a Gemini for sure. Um, but the reasons that I really enjoy spending time with Geminis is I have a real taste for like an acerbic wit and sharp, stinging sarcasm, and Geminis are hilarious to me. They're also outgoing. They like to party. They like to have fun, and they're not boring people to be around. Sure, they can be dramatic. They can be over exaggerate their emotions so as to be in the limelight. They're almost like Leos, and they love attention. um, and if you want to have a really intelligent conversation with somebody, the Gemini is the right person to do it with. One thing I've found with Geminis, especially with Mercury in the sign of Gemini, is they do lack a filter a lot of the time, and I think that's something that many of them need to work on. Um, and this is getting back towards the negative a little bit. This can lead to them being inappropriate, overwhelming, or over the top. One of the things that makes Geminis such amazing, like doctors and research scientists, explorers, whatever, is they have this like boundless sense of curiosity. That's really cool, and I really like it. They're always trying to learn more. On the dark side, sometimes what Geminis will do is they'll scatter their knowledge so thin and so know a little bit about everything, but not a lot about one thing, you know? And I'm guilty of that to some degree. There's a few things I know a lot about, but with, my own Gemini influence, I like to learn about everything, but I don't want to like take the time to like study textbooks and read entire books. Like, just give me the highlights and something that I can use to talk about later, and I'm good. Another thing that's cool about Geminis is that they generally go with the flow people. They go where the party's at, and being a mutable sign, makes them a lot easier to deal with than any fixed signs like me who are just stubborn pricks. Sorry, I know there's a lot of fixed signs out there, but admit it, we are. So unless Gemini has like a lot of Aries or a lot of fixed sign, maybe some Capricorn, and all those things can make them a little more stubborn, but Geminis usually are very go with the flow, very peaceful. So now I'm going to discuss one of the traits that Gemini, along with other air signs, simply don't get enough credit for, and that is their psychic ability. Not all Gemini psychic ability is in everybody, but not everybody has it. As in, not everybody has taken the time to explore it or tap into it. However, some people have an easier time accessing it, and some people can't help but access it. Um, Gemini's, I associate Gemini as the sign of the shaman. And that is a personal opinion, like whatever, you don't have to agree with me. But they are too, like shamans were regarded, and much of this had to do with a reverence for homosexuality as well in Asian cultures, but shamans were regarded as having two spirits, having a powerful duality in them that makes them able to walk the plane of life and the plane of the spirit. Geminis have an inborn connection to both worlds and an ability to walk safely in both. Now, if you look at like many Geminis, because communication is still the key word here, Geminis want to look at abilities like channeling, perhaps medium work, contacting like spirits and angels and other things. So a cool story, and I don't know, this might be a rumor, but I really hope it's not because it's really cool. Supposedly Stevie Nicks, who is a Gemini, wrote the song Rhiannon. If you don't know the song Rhiannon, you really should. It's great. I love Stevie. But she supposedly wrote this song and the lyrics to the name Rhiannon without actually knowing that Rhiannon is a Welsh or Celtic deity and was a witch long time ago. I don't know when. Way before pre-industrial, like everything. But she wrote the song Rhiannon after hearing the name somewhere and being inspired by it. And then came to find out later that Rhiannon was about an old Welsh witch, as she says at the beginning of the song. And that's that Gemini natural, like, intuition channeling at work without her even being aware of it. So yeah, I mean, Gemini is definitely a sign that it takes on many psychic abilities. And I believe, just based on my research, air signs are almost on par with water signs as far as inborn psychic ability goes. We don't get a reputation for it, and that's because we have a reputation for being, like, you know, cold and logical and intellectual, but, you know, so are Vulcans, and they have psychic powers, so F you, I guess. Anyways, I think that's it. I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been my video on Gemini. I hope you enjoyed it, all you Geminis and lover haters of Geminis out there. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. There may be another video coming tonight if I can get my shit together. If not, you know, look forward to Cancer next. Peace.
Born sinner, the opposite of a winner. Remember when I used to eat sardines for dinner? Peace to Ron G, Brucey B, Kid Capri, Funk Master Flex, Love Bug, Star Ski. I'm blowing up like you thought I would. Call a crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. Yeah. And if you don't know, now you know, nigga.